What's up, Twin Cities? It's Joe Schwartzbauer, your favorite Minnesota realtor here, and I want to give you a little bit of an update about what's really going on in our local market. Is now a good time to buy? Is now a good time to sell? Stick around to the end. I'm going to give you all the info. All right, so just a little glimpse at what's really going on here in the Twin Cities market. I personally always like to look at the 13 county metro and single family homes to kind of give a litmus as far as what we're always looking at anyway. So I used to do the 7 county metro, but the 13 seems a little bit more appropriate for the northern suburbs. So we are currently at 1.2 months worth of inventory. Now, context-wise, if you've never been here before, a balanced market is 6 months worth of inventory. We are still in a wild seller's market without a doubt. Now, days on market, those are down to about 9 days currently right now. You know, last year we saw the valley of that being at about 5 days on the market. Well, 5 to 9 days, it's not a whole lot different. Any home that is listed appropriately with good marketing right now is typically selling the first weekend on the market, more than likely at least within the first week on the market. If you're a buyer, you still got to be pretty aggressive out there. Now, if you are watching the national stats, there's a lot of information out there that just doesn't always correlate here to our market in Minnesota. You see, we get shielded a bit from everything that takes place on the coast and even down south. So taking a look at the national numbers is sometimes not that great, but I want to show you some of those because it is going to give you a little bit of projections as far as what we can expect to see going forward in our housing market. All right, we're going to look at some month-over-month values according to a few giant resources here. First, we're taking a look at CoreLogic. You know, you can see what their numbers were over the years. We saw last July, and you'll see that in all 3 of these charts, that we started to decline. And those declines basically took place from July to December for our month-over-month prices. But as you can see in February, things start to rise. March, it rose again, and April, we're up again. So the numbers are positive for where we're at in the national market right now. And if you look at Black Knight, their numbers as well, Freddie Mac really saying the exact same thing. Selma Help is the chief of economics with CoreLogic, and she recently said that the recent trends suggest that home price growth in 2023 will fall in line with the historical 4% annual average. Now, 4% is typical for what we've seen since about 2012. You know, it has its ups and downs within there as far as those exact numbers, but average, we're typically seeing about 4% increase in property values year over year. Now, the unicorn years of 2021 and part of 2022, those are not likely to happen again anytime in the future here. That was the perfect storm of money that was almost free, the pandemic taking place, and everybody deciding that they needed a new home all at once. So don't expect to see those home price growth numbers take place again anytime in the near future. At least fingers crossed there's not another pandemic coming down the road. So if you did buy in the past couple years, you're going to be in a good spot. If you bought before that, you're in an even better spot. Now, if you're looking to buy in today's market, you need to understand that there is a lot of other buyers that are out there. Even though mortgage interest rates, they're pretty high right now. You know, they're hovering around the high 6s, but for the past few months, about 4 months now, we've been between 6 and 7. So that is actually maybe longer than that. Let's take a look at the chart actually. So the first time that we got to a 6% interest rate was around September of 2022. And we've basically been between 6 and 7% ever since then. Now, when those rates came about, after seeing rates, 2.5%, 3.5%, 4%, that type of thing for multiple years previous to that, a lot of buyers were on edge, didn't want to make the move. And then there's rate lock that's happening with a lot of sellers that they own their home and refinance during those unicorn years. And it doesn't make a lot of sense for them to put their home on the market. So low supply, enough demand out there from buyers that are willing to take on these interest rates. And now we're seeing a lot of buyers realizing that, hey, the market is not going to crash. I might as well make a move. Now, I want to tell you, now is a good time to buy. I don't want to be that typical salesperson that's out there saying buy now, but we just received some really good economic data. CPI numbers are down, interest rate, inflation numbers, not interest rate. Inflation numbers are down to about 4% right now. That's the lowest we have seen in a long time, and that is really great economic news. As interest rates continue to go down, next month Powell is not expected to do another rate hike. We're expected to do a pause, possibly another rate hike after that, but we should see mortgage rates trending down for the foreseeable future here. Now, as rates come down, the first time they hit in the fives, anytime it's going to have a 5 in front of it, we're going to see a massive amount of buyers come back to the market. So if you're looking for that sweet spot to buy, now is it. If you're a seller, well, it depends on your situation. Now, are you looking to sell and buy? Because if you're looking to do that, there's never the perfect time to do it. Timing the market is just something that is impossible to do, because either you're going to sell for a high price and pay a high price, or you're going to sell lower and pay lower. Now, there's a lot of folks out there that would say, well, why don't I just sell at the peak of the market and rent for a while? That's perfectly acceptable to do. And if you choose to do that, power to you. But if you sell at the high peak and then rent for a full year, the amount of money that you are spending on rent during that year is probably going to wash away any gains that you made, as opposed to just buying at the same time and gaining the equity along the way. So there's no perfect time to buy. There's no perfect time to sell. Make a move when it makes sense for you. We're happy to be there for you every step of the way and help you out, answer all of your questions. Take a look at our website, search for some homes, give me a call anybody on the Great Oak Properties team. We're happy to help out, and we'll see you next time.